The Pradhan Mantri Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan (PM-USHA), which translates to Prime Minister's Higher Education Campaign, is a centrally sponsored scheme launched by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. It is essentially the third phase of the Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan (RUSA), building upon the experiences of the previous phases launched in 2013 and 2018. PM-USHA was launched in June 2023 and will run from 2023-24 to 2025-26 with a total outlay of 12,926.10 crore rupees. Objectives of PM-USHA. The primary goals of the PM-USHA Abhiyan are to improve the overall quality of state higher educational institutions, HEIs, by ensuring they adhere to prescribed norms and standards and adopt accreditation as a quality assurance framework. Transform the state higher education system by creating structures for planning and monitoring at the state level, promoting autonomy in state universities, and improving governance in institutions. Implement the recommendations of the National Education Policy (NEP 2020) through financial support to state HEIs. Ensure governance, academic, and examination reforms in state HEIs, and establish linkages with schools and other educational institutions. Focus on enhancing graduate employability through market-linked courses, industry connections, and student internships. Promote equity, access, and inclusion in higher education by providing opportunities to underprivileged groups, women, minorities, SC by ST/OBC categories, and specially abled persons. Address existing gaps in higher education by supporting state government's efforts. Improve the quality of teaching and learning processes and faculty training, especially in ICT tools. Upgrade physical and digital infrastructure in HEIs, including Wi-Fi facilities, smart classrooms, and virtual laboratories. Convert single-stream HEIs into multidisciplinary institutions. Promote the use of technology and open distance learning (ODL). Support institutions in achieving national and international accreditation. Implementation of PM-USHA. Centrally sponsored scheme, PM-USHA is funded by the central government 60% and the participating states UTs 40%. Target institutions. The scheme covers government and government-aided higher educational institutions in participating states and union territories. Strategic funding. Funding is provided based on norms and is outcome dependent. Funds flow from the Central Ministry of Education through the state government's UTs to the identified institutions. State Higher Education Plans (SHEPs). Funding to states is based on a critical appraisal of SHEPs, which outline each state's strategy to address equity, access, and excellence in higher education. Focus districts. Priority is given to educationally underserved areas and focus districts identified by states, UTs based on criteria like low gross enrollment ratio, GER, gender parity, and representation of various social categories. Project approval. Projects are approved by a Project Approval Board, PAB, at the national level based on proposals submitted by the states, UTs. Activities supported. States, UTs, can undertake a range of activities under PM-USHA based on their needs, including infrastructure upgrades, multidisciplinary education, research and innovation promotion, quality initiatives, and increased use of e-learning/virtual learning. Monitoring and evaluation. The scheme is implemented and monitored through a multi-tiered institutional structure at the central, state, and institutional levels. A dedicated PM-USHA portal has been developed for proposal submission, tracking, and monitoring. In essence, PM-USHA aims to revitalize the higher education system in India by focusing on quality, equity, and accessibility, aligning with the goals of the National Education Policy 2020 and enhancing the employability of graduates.